Is it inappropriate to kiss the cell phone? Look, it's
no, let's do it together.
1, 2.
Welcome to The Story Thinker, a Webtoons and Witcher podcast for superfans with scene-by-scene analysis. Featuring sharp co-hosts for a fuller picture, we dive deep into character psychology, relationships, and theories. We'd love it if you could like, subscribe, comment, and rate us on all podcast platforms and social media. For bonus content, you can support The Story Thinker on Patreon. Let's begin.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 135 of Purple Hyacinth, Intimate Information. We are here with Lily and Emily.
Hey, guys. Hi. Back again.
All right, so we're very excited because this episode was delightful, let's just say.
Yeah, I saw intimate in the name and I knew it would be a good one.
Oh, I was screaming. I was like pressing it 5,000 times. I was like, unlock, it says intimate. I just knew. I knew right away. I knew right away that it was going to be this episode.
Because we've as we mentioned, like we watched the stream, so we knew that something was coming up, and
we just didn't know when. I thought the timing might line up, but I didn't know how far ahead she was.
And I had done like the other Purple Hyacinth episodes I've done. Kieran has not been in it, been any of them.
Ooh.
So this one, I was like, I got a Kieran episode.
Yes.
Damn, you've been blessed with this one.
It was a good one.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I might just be squealing half of this. I can't put a thought together.
Squealing is appropriate fandoming.
Now I had to write down my notes because half of it is me just going, shirtless Kieran.
Oh my god, no! As soon as we saw Kieran in the cave with the pirate shirt, I was a goner. I was
I'm like, baby, take it off. We know it's coming. I just knew. I was like, I'm just scrolling and I'm trying to listen to the dialogue, but not really because I know the shirt's coming off. So I really didn't get a good, thorough examination of the dialogue until like the next week. I'm just not gonna lie.
This. Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what? I noticed Kieran's hands. I was like, man, his hands are attractive. I'm like, I don't know why they just jumped out at me. So
soap does hands and backs very well.
All right, now that we began with the most important elements of this podcast, this episode.
It's just gonna get worse. Sorry, guys.
Like way worse.
Yeah, we will do some, theorizing.
No, we got a lot of information.
I have a lot of questions.
Like when my brain wasn't on fire from the imagery and it finally cooled down, I was like, oh, we've learned a lot. Like, this is great.
It was a reread 4 or 5 where I was like, okay, now I have theories and questions because I don't know what's going on.
Exactly. So yeah, let's chat.
All right, so we start off in the cave, and already it's a very warm environment. It's we got the fire, we have this beautiful lake. It's very romantic.
Very moody, romantic setting in this like dark, like very.
The tones are so much warmer than the normal like cave scenarios. I feel like.
Yeah, definitely intimate. Oh, love it. And they're sitting on these mossy rocks. Sorry, I think that's the correct term. And Kieran is saying, at least now we know the messenger's identity. And I'm just noticing they're both wearing different clothing. So do you think they went home and changed and came to the cave? I was
confused because I thought since they changed, it would have been the next day or something. But then later on, yesterday, Lauren says, "Thanks for coming earlier, Kieran," and she means to the hospital. So I'm like, did you guys go home and change and then decide to meet at the cave? So I don't know if we'll get a flashback on that, but it seems like Also, why did they meet at the cave and not his apartment?
So they would have a wonderful romantic setting for their.
I'm not questioning it. I'm just saying. Maybe because they thought people would overhear if his place was being watched. So
yeah. So and he's wearing what we'd like to call his titty window, and that's another thing I noticed. I was like, wow, that is open, man. That goes plunging deep.
It's deep. It's a deep V.
So she okay, so he says, at least now we know the messenger's identity. And Lauren says, I'll inform my uncle. The National Security Agency will take care of Rafael, hopefully. What does take care of mean? Does she mean that they're gonna kill him?
Yeah, sniper situation. We'll just take him out. Rafael has not been my favorite person lately, and everybody knows this. He's on my shit list, but I still don't want him to just be taken out.
I think she means I hope she means arrested.
Arrested. I mean, yeah, like arrested and interrogated. That's what she must mean. I mean,
but like it's not that easy. Even if you find someone's identity, I feel like it still wouldn't be that easy to arrest them, interrogate them if they're part of the Phantom Scythe.
Well, I think it's easier because they know he's a part of the circus, so they just have to go to the circus.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have to have like evidence, right? And like, do Lauren and Kieran have enough evidence? If they're a just society that follows laws, right? They have to have evidence to implicate him in some crime that is worthy of arrest, right? I don't know.
That's true. That's a good point. I don't know how their justice system works over there.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think that we're gonna get like details that make 100% sense, because it's just a story, and I don't think they're really focusing on that too much. Like, I think it's just, we're supposed to. It serves whatever purpose it serves. Like, I don't think we have to analyze like their legal
every single detail.
Yeah,
exactly.
And we have this like beautiful reflection. I love it. I happen to love water, so I love like just it calms me down just seeing it through webtoons. And she's like, oh, I don't know how I'm going to break it to Will though. Which, yeah, we already talked about how last time, like when she was talking to Will, like I was like, why don't you tell him? But
okay, it's a little late now.
Yeah.
Be a lot of information coming at Will all at once. So
poor dude. It's like, I don't like being left in the dark. Lauren then leaves him in the dark.
People like continue to leave him even further in the dark.
Lauren's like, let's turn off the light. Yeah, and it's like, I'm now practically certain that Redcliffe is our apostle. And Kieran continues, and this was when I first noticed his hands. I was like, oh yeah, he's got those nice fingers, and they're like square.
He's got those artist piano fingers.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I never really analyzed people's hands, but they're very attractive.
Oh, veiny. It's great.
No, I love like for men's hands. I love like long, slim fingers. I don't like big, bulky. Hands. Like you can't help your hands, so I'm not. That's what I'm into for hands, like for men's hands, like the more long, elegant, slender.
It's funny.
Just give me the veins and I'm happy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a nurse. I look at people's veins all the time. So I'm just like staring at people's.
By the way, I work out and I'm so proud of like whatever veins you see.
Let's see them, Mindy. Let's see. Oh my God, Mindy, they're beautiful.
Excellent. A+.
Those are juicy. Get an IV in those babies with my eyes closed.
You want to hear something hilarious?
Yes.
So when I was like 21, I met my husband, right? And I was like this sheltered, Base Alcove is the education system I went to, which is like a very religious girls' school. I was this sheltered Base Alcove girl. I never talked to boys. I never touched a boy, right? I was like so sheltered. But when I met my husband, we didn't we didn't have sex before marriage. Let's just say that. We were supposed to not do anything before marriage, but whatever. We'll forget that. But I remember I don't know how this came up, and I somehow managed to sneak this in, but like somehow I mentioned him. I was like, oh yes, my skin is so pale that you can trace my veins all over my body.
Oh my God, Mindy, are you like the female lead in a romance book?
Yeah. I was like, well, that's how you get their heart racing without like,
how you just like peek to the attention. Yeah,
leave it to the imagination.
Right.
Probably went home that night like, I gotta see her veins. Oh my God.
You're like, okay, hilarious because thinking about it now, I'm like, we're like what, 12 years into marriage? I don't think we've ever made use of that in a sexual way at all.
That day he went home and was like, okay, how can I like do this in the future?
That's something new that you can.
Right. Like, hey, y'all, remember what I told you?
Hey, remember? Yeah. After 12 years, you got to keep it fresh, Mindy.
All right. I think we're already into story thinker after
we're like 3 panels in. Oh my God.
Like it's also the people that you do it with. Like some people are more into it, some people are not. Like if we were doing it with other people, like there would not be this discussion. But like,
no, not at all. It's because we're the.
I can talk about like nothing is ever off limits with me. I can
talk 100%. Yeah, and it's but like everybody, like my like friends and people that like they know that nothing's off limits for me. I think a big part of it's just like being in the medical industry for so long. It's like there's no
Shame.
judgment. There's no secrets. Like I've seen and heard it all. You can't surprise me with anything, and I won't judge you. So it's like, and nothing's too dirty. Just like bring it on.
Yeah, nothing is ever too dirty.
Yeah, no, completely agree.
So
I don't even like the word dirty. I'm like, it's not dirty, it's human. Like,
oh yeah, well yeah, that's exactly right. I know. Yeah, like that's how I see it, but and that's a whole nother discussion. But like the way that we grew up, we kind of talked about that. Like it took a while to rephrase that in my mind. And working in the medical industry was a big part of that. Just realizing like, oh, this is all completely human. Everything's human. So, we can tie that into Kieran's humanity.
Okay, there we go.
We're tying it straight in.
We'll find ways to keep making, like, bringing back Story Tinker after dark. We can.
I don't think it'll be hard. All right, so he says Bella and Rafael are confirmed phantoms, and Flemings was invited to his ball. He handled the finances of the weapon operation. Okay. And Lauren concludes that the funds collected from Redcliffe's ball were probably meant to be redirected to his own coup d'etat instead of the hospital, while the publicity would earn him the sympathy of the South Shore and support for his civil revolution.
What a typical politician.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we're gonna get a little bit more complexity to Redcliffe. Like, I feel like he's a little bit of an enigma. Like, we have this stereotype villain, right? Villain is like he's does good things for like not like political,
not ideal reasons, not good reasons,
right? But I want to see him as a person. I do want to know. I don't want him to be like a stereotype. I would be nice if we got a little bit more of a fleshed out version of him.
I'm just curious if we're gonna get, and I wouldn't be surprised because he's not a major character and there's already so many questions that need to be answered on all the other characters, but it would be kind of interesting to get a little bit more backstory on him, and maybe we'll get that through like Bella's eyes or some kind of version of things of like, oh, this, like, because she knows, I'm assuming she knows a lot about him and his past and how he grew up and started the circus and stuff. So maybe we'll get more of that. Yeah, so I just think it'd be interesting.
Yeah. Just how, like, someone would rise up in the Phantom Scythe like that quickly and amass that much power and popularity. Yeah, that would be interesting to see.
Like, was he originally idealistic?
Didn't the leader say that he started out with good intentions? Because he had that, there was that scene where he was in the like hallway or something. And was it with, I can never remember, was it
the episode? Nah, I don't remember either.
I don't even know, but it was one of the, I think it's the apostle that's in charge of Kieran. Espionage and murders.
I think it's 4.
It was 4, I can't remember. But they were chatting and he said something about how, good men who start out with the best of intentions succumb to greed. Like so many before them who succumb to greed. So he was talking about Apostle 7, Redcliffe, and so it makes me think like, yeah, he started out with good intentions.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a very normal thing to happen to people. So then Kieran says, it looks like we have our next target. And I'm kind of curious what they're going to do, because Lauren's like, my uncle told me he's already under surveillance. So what do they want to do? I guess I'll finish these panels. So I'm curious what their plan is.
Yeah.
And she says, the problem is that his ball was proposed to host a parlay with the Phantom Scythe. It's not official yet, so maybe we can stand his chance to stop it. But I'm like, why do you want to stop it? I thought the parlay was a good idea.
I know, I'm kind of curious about that too. I thought the parlay was supposed to be a good thing, but maybe she's worried about, is she worried about there maybe possibly being more nitro, and the nitro is going to be used at the ball, so we don't want to have like, we need to take care of this situation before the ball happens. I don't know, is it related to like the nitro, or is it related to, I don't know.
I kind of chalked it up to, again, like, not so logical plot, but I don't know, because I also just think the parlay is a good thing, and I just don't get it, but it's okay. And I guess also Doc must have told her, because like, how else would she know about this?
Right.
Unless I don't think it became public knowledge. I doubt it, that the royalty would want that to spread.
Yeah, I think that was from Tristan and Doc.
Yeah, it was one of the previous episodes when it was, I think, one of the flashbacks where they were talking to Lauren.
They told her that?
Yeah, they told her about the parlay.
Oops.
I think, right? I'm not making this up.
I remember they talked to her, and I remember when the council discussed the parlay. I just don't remember that they told her, but okay.
Yeah, I think Dakan told her about it.
Mm-hmm.
And she was surprised. I remember her saying something like, "Oh, I'm surprised the royals agreed to that," or
oh, okay.
Which that could be sus, but
yeah, here we are, like we're analyzing everything. We're like, why are you
watch it not even matter, but there's so many questions.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm a little confused by that because she's like always under surveillance. So does that mean that like they will have a hard time? Like, what's their plan? Like, kidnap him? Like, he's like, oh, of course. In that case, we'll need to move quickly and give your uncle and godfather everything they need to keep the Viscount under control. Like, what do you mean? Are they gonna like kidnap him and interrogate him the same way they did to the other ones? Like, what are they planning on doing?
Like throw him in jail, house arrest? I don't know.
For what? Like, I think I kind of assume maybe they want to gather evidence against him. Like,
I don't know. It makes me worried for her uncle and for Dakin, because I mean they keep mentioning like your uncle and your godfather need to keep him under control. They have all of the info they need, whatever. But that makes me nervous that like something will go wrong. Yeah,
I'm really worried about this. And whenever he says or she says they have him under surveillance, are they talking about Naira?
huh?
Yeah, like, is this official surveillance? Is this like under the radar? With
like has the queen told, like, but the queen and Dakan are very close, so I don't know how he would have that info from her, because it seems like he's the only one that knows that Naira's spying on him, unless it's that
maybe she's spying on
that lady, that what's her name, that
Lady A.
Yeah, no, not Lady A, the lady that accompanied Redcliffe to the theater, like his companion that night,
that probably
Montgomery or something.
Yeah, I didn't think she was important, so I didn't bother to memorize her name.
Yeah, I think it was Montgomery or something, but maybe she's
someone
like a spy, a double agent spy, something like that. That could be interesting.
I don't know. I'm a little confused about this stuff here, but whatever.
It's not the important part of this.
Yeah, exactly. Moving on.
Moving on.
We have Kieran in the pirate shirt.
Gotta get to the meat of the episode. The actual meat. The meat. We're not even there, you guys.
I know, we're terrible. So Lauren leans back and sighs, just like, I don't see how we can get close to someone like him. And then Kieran stretches. He's so cute. He's like, oh, the classic strategy. Incomprehensible hand swinging and silent screaming. We have like way back when they're interviewing.
Flashbacks from Loon.
Yeah, way back. And then, or our listening devices interfering with each other, ninja days, and accidentally getting your partner hypnotized and turned into a child. Oh, cute.
It would have gone so well for them.
Yeah.
And Lauren smiles and she's like,
This like warmed my heart so much. Like their little banter here and like reminiscing about past Loon adventures, It was amazing.
It's so cute seeing like how far they've come, because they're also in their outfits from episode 10 when they made the deal.
Oh right, yeah, the offer notes.
Yeah. And so Sofa had pointed that out, So I just think it's super cute. It's like we're coming full circle. We're getting the flashbacks of their progression of their relationship as Loon.
Gosh, I didn't realize that.
And when he says like, oh, like we're better at improvising than planning, I'm like, so true, because I mean, what was the factory arc if not them just
they had zero plan. They just showed up and she's like, what are we doing? He's like, I don't know.
Do I look like a man?
They are not planners.
No, I mean, they improvised quite well for everything that went down, but not planners, they are not.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Yeah, she's like, so 50% plan, 50% absolute chaos. And then
it's more like 20% plan. Like 20% plan, 80%.
That was a generous percentage.
Yeah, but they're so cute. Like, I love how and you see like she laughs, and then Kieran's looking at her with a little smile, and it's just the sweetest.
The man is in love. He's in love. He's looking at his woman laugh.
The man is gone. He's gone.
I know. I was like mushing out already at this point. Like, this was enough to get me like soft in my heart.
I know, like, how often does he get to see her laugh, really? Like, when they're together.
And he was the cause of her laughing.
I know, it's the best feeling ever when you make somebody laugh. And so he just, like, taking a little bit of joy in that. So cute.
You know, is this the assassin? Is this the cold-hearted murderer that he appears to be? No.
No, he's a sweetie
big
boy.
softy.
Sweet boy.
All right. Well, and now Lauren says, Kieran, thank you for coming earlier, by the way. He's like, of course, I'm your boyfriend after all. Oh.
You just like to keep bringing that up.
Okay, again, yeah, he mentions boyfriend constantly. He looks for any opportunity to say that he is her boyfriend.
Like, have you forgotten?
Yeah, have you forgotten?
Have you forgotten? We're dating.
Yeah,
we're dating. Actually,
he is a goner. Like, he's there already.
Right. It's like totally subconsciously, you know, not subconsciously. He's like bringing it up. It's like, let's see what she says.
Yeah,
let's just push it.
I know he loves to tease her so much, but she's past that point now. Like, so good.
Yeah, and then he gets up and with his little smirk on his face, he's like, and you're lucky to be dating a professional killer who's had a very thorough education on poisons.
I'm not gonna lie, at that line I just automatically thought of him like in a Harry Potter class, like potions class.
Right. That's cute.
With like a potions class at Hogwarts, like he's got the little robe.
So cute. Yeah, and now he talks about exactly what you said last episode. I think it was
I was right.
Yeah,
I was
literally
right to the minutia. I was right. Oh my god, I cannot tell you. I will just say, well, pat on the back. I was right.
Yeah, it's great to feel that. Yeah, so he says, I thought about Green's case and what do all these people who've fallen ill have in common? And he gets up and he's looking at a book. And she says they've all been in close proximity to Green. He says, you, William, and the whole cast has been too, and not everyone got sick. So more precisely, what did they all do that you guys didn't? And he's flipping through the book. And Lauren is, crossing her arms, leaning over and looking at the book. And she says, well, Kim and the paramedics touched Green. And he says, so did Cooper, Grace, and Nara, though I don't know anything about her. Okay, well, we're just letting you know, Kieran, she is sick.
Yeah, so you know. Readers will tell you she's not feeling so great.
Mm-hmm. And he turns to her and he says, all right, not every poison needs to be ingested or inhaled. Some substances can be absorbed through skin and then cross into the circulation, which then spreads them systemically. And she's like, oh, so then the poison could have been put in her perfume, makeup, or some prop that the killer knew she'd use. Which is like literally what you said.
My body makeup.
Mm-hmm.
Ding, ding, ding.
Exactly. Like
the one theory, the only theory I've gotten right in the many podcasts I've been on.
Yeah. That's more than a lot of people. That's more than I have. So
it's the only one. Everything else has been dead ass wrong. So we'll see.
Oh, thanks for entertainment. He says anyone touching her skin or the poison prop would also absorb it. And then she says, but many were wearing gloves while touching her and still developed symptoms. And then he says, I suppose they must have been careless and touched their face or some exposed skin before removing the gloves. Which, by the way, is my rant. I don't get why people are anal about gloves, because like you can be dirty with gloves and clean with your hands, like you can just like touch everything with your gloves and like now it's not even clean and like you could just wash your hands a lot. Anyway, that's my
totally not more like absorbing the stuff systemically, like you can like in the hospital, I mean obviously we don't want to touch that stuff anyways, but you can absorb stuff systemically through your hands. But especially working, COVID, when COVID came out and stuff, like that's when we really got real crazy. Like you don't realize how often you touch yourself and things even with your gloves because like especially in the beginning when things were crazy and nobody knew like exactly and stuff. Like I was like, you go in the room and be like, I don't want to touch anything. Yeah, it was really difficult. Like, I was changing gloves constantly. I would put like 4 pairs on and pull them off. And the second you leave the room, you're like trying not to touch anything. It was crazy, but also true, Mindy. It's important to have clean hands.
Yeah. So she's leaning over, looking at the book, and she's like, "What? So what poison could have been used?" And then the next picture, she's somehow holding the book. But okay. He has a massive stack of books on his desk, which makes me love him.
We love him. He's got all those books at his place too.
I know.
He's well read. Another point for Kieran. We love a well-read man.
He likes fiction and nonfiction, which is just a man that reads some medical textbooks, but also reads like,
yeah. This is my top reason. I mean, Meg claims
besides his elegant hands.
I know. Meg's like, I told him, I was like, oh, my number one reason I like Kieran is because of his books. And Meg's like, you never like, message me to scream about his books. You only scream about his naked chest. I was like, well.
Okay, but now we get his books and his naked chest in one episode.
In one episode. Good point, Emily. We're getting all of it.
Yep. So she's like, and he says, my best guess is Medusa's kiss, derived from a potent lizard venom. And Medusa, I was like trying to figure out, is there any relation to
I was trying to figure that out too,
but I don't know. I mean, Medusa is like, she's like this monster or person, whatever, who's with snake heads, and her look turns people into stone. But
yeah, from Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Do we think that has anything? Maybe I wonder if it ties in at all to the pantheon.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I know it must be called Medusa's kiss because of the paralytic qualities, but like the stiffness, I don't know if paralytic is the right word, but so maybe stiffness turning into stone, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably just a dramatic name.
Yeah. It's interesting it says potent lizard venom though, because wait, do we know where Bella's viper venom comes from? I don't think we've just got that. No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway.
I don't think it's that important. Essentially composed of myotoxins, which paralyze the muscles and prevent the victim from escaping, and hemotoxins, which cause hemolysis and rapid, which I looked up, is just the blood cells breaking apart, I think.
Yeah, destruction of red blood cells.
Ooh, cool.
And rapid disseminated coagulation, which I know F is in med school in Canada, but here we call it DIC, which is disseminated intravascular coagulation. So at first I was like, I haven't heard of this one, but it sounds familiar, but that's what we call it here in the States. Like in medical terminology. So basically like your blood has blood clotting factors, and for different reasons, it could be from a toxin or it could be from your liver, which makes those factors shutting down or things like that. It can basically cause your blood to make huge blood clots in certain areas and other areas bleed out. So it can start like, you can get weird bruises, bloody cough. Like I've only seen it, I think, twice in my whole career, and it's horrible. Like bleeding out everywhere from every orifice. It's not pretty.
Oh my gosh.
What do you do to help it, like in real life?
Well, the ones that I saw, they died. So I mean, not funny, but it was just, yeah, like, sorry, that's my fucked up medical humor coming in. But no, it was just, I mean, they were past the point of like saving at that point. But if it's minor, it's usually different medications that you can give to get your blood blood factor clotting factors like back working again. You can have it minor. You can have it like start out really minor, but if it's caught too late, and it can happen really fast, like if the liver shuts down really fast, it can happen really fast. And so that's when I saw it happen, and they were doing CPR. Like, sorry guys, this is gonna be really graphic, but blood was like shooting out of his mouth. Oh my gosh. CPR like onto the ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah. Didn't survive. But anyways, it's really bad, like with green. Not great. So this is what happened.
So, and he said the symptom description seemed to match what Green experienced. And Lauren is impressed and then tells him, I don't know if I should be happy or disturbed that you know that. And he's like, it's fantastic bedtime reading, I assure you. So cute. Oh, look at him all proud of himself. With that little grin. So cute. And she wonders, is this Belladonna's doing? And he's like, could be. It's creative. And she's always had a knack for dramatic deaths. Interesting.
So who can it be if it's not Bella? I'm so confused.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. There's so many people. Who knows?
Yeah, it could
be the butler. What's that? Coco? Maybe Coco.
The peacock.
Very intelligent peacock.
It could be anybody. Anyone at this point. Lady A, it could be her. Who knows?
Yeah,
that would be a real twist right there.
No, everyone would be like, I knew it all along. we all just
heard it here first, folks. If it's Lady A, you heard it here first.
I was wondering if maybe like, I mean, this is super far out there, I'm probably wrong, but the play that she wrote is very critical, right, of their society.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, like, could it just be like another like undercover like royal assassination of some kind to like squash any like political or like social dissent? I don't know.
I mean, that's what I was kind of thinking, you know?
Yeah, because I don't know like who else would have it really out for her that at least that we know so far or that we could theorize so far.
Right.
Because she appeared once and then she appeared a second time and she died. She really did not interact with anyone.
No.
Huh.
Me wonder if it could, because if it's somebody that's involved with the royals, there's only so many people that we know of, and I don't think, I mean, unless Dakan has some kind of evil side that we're not seeing, which I don't think. No, I don't think that's something going on with him. We don't know, but we know that Stefan is the spy master, so maybe he could have something.
Yeah, I don't know. We know the queen is like not. The queen is not very supportive of the people in her city, so I don't know if maybe she has like secret people on the side.
Yeah, you know, I like the queen.
Her father, like her father-in-law, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think the queen is quite reasonable.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she says, "Okay, I'll inform the hospital tonight. Maybe they can do something with this information. Is there any antidote that you know of?" He says, "No. We have to wait and hope their bodies will eliminate the poison they've absorbed." And you know, Lauren's grip on the book, shaking. Yeah, she's like, "Damn it!" And then he puts his head on her shoulder.
Pat.
Such a good person. Oh, he loves her so much.
There's just no hesitation with the touch now. Zero.
Mm-hmm. None of this like hand and going back. He just puts it straight there. Last time in the cave, right? It was like the
that's right. Wait, is the last time they were at the cave pre-factory arc?
I think it was 93.
Oh shoot, I don't remember.
93?
I think so. I mean, I think that I don't remember them being in the cave. Otherwise,
I don't think that Lauren's been back to the cave since.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, for sure.
It's been what, 3 weeks in the story by now? Because we're almost to the month. We're almost to the he's dead, right?
Probably, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. We need like a timeline update.
Oh, there was I forgot who it was. There was someone on Instagram, Webtoon. Her name had Webtoon in it, and she made this timeline. It was a long time. It was like a year ago or something of the first up till then, whatever it was, and it was hilarious because it was like impossible for it didn't work. Like the days.
Oh, the timeline, yeah.
And it was like Soph was like, "Well, yeah, that's true. Oh,
sorry."
It was hilarious. It's
okay. So just look at Kieran's chest. We'll forget all about it.
That's coming up soon. We just have to get there.
Yeah, and he's like, as with many poisons, the effects are dose dependent. If they're stable now, I think the worst is already behind them. Kim will be fine. Look at that reassuring smile. He's just like they care so much for each other. They're undeniably really good friends at this point.
Yeah.
And even just that is warming my heart. It's just so good that
I know he knows. Like he knows how terrified she's been and how worried she's been, and he just wants to, comfort her. Like, hey, yeah, it's gonna be okay. The fact that she's been stabilized, the worst is behind her. Like she's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm. I just love seeing it because both of them were so closed off in the beginning. And Lauren had friends, but she was so and they're just really, really caring for each other, and I love it.
And I just love seeing Kieran open up with touch so much because, like I said on the other podcast, like we don't know his storyline. We don't know if he had like a really lovely family upbringing, like if he had a lot of love, like good parents or anything. But obviously, like whatever happened up until he got taken was not great from then. And I don't think that he's had a lot of like good physical touch. Like everything's been kind of like torture and and we also don't know like how many close relationships, if he's had any like romantic or very friendly platonic relationships, like how he is with Lauren. We're like, we don't know. I'm thinking not because he wants to protect other people from being involved with him because he's the PH, but
yeah, I don't think so either. Didn't he say at the bar, remember that 83 Kaput Kim didn't he say something like, I have a lot of friends, and it was like a lie or something like that?
Oh yeah, he said like, oh, I have a lot of friends I could introduce to those girls.
Right. Yeah, there we go. No friends. At least no friends he can introduce, but yeah.
No, and his friends have been like random people on the Phantom Scythe, like the doctor, and he said he had a friend. Oh, the one that got him the fake identities. He called him a friend, but I think he just means more like a coworker.
Yeah, like acquaintance or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lauren says, thank you, Kieran. Thank you. Oh, and she's totally fine with his hand on her shoulder. Like, she's not pulling away. She's, being totally fine with it. Which is great. And she continues, she was wounded at the factory, and now this, and her chin is trembling.
Lips quivering again.
Oh, look how she's open. She's able to be vulnerable with Kieran and show her emotions. It's just so lovely.
She looks so concerned, like, oh, they've just come so far, especially since the last time we're in the cave, because excuse me. He went to go reach for her, remember, to comfort her because she was talking about her parents, and then he pulled his hand away. And then they just had that handshake at the end, but now they're just comforting each other.
I love this so much. Oh my gosh. And he looks at her with that compassionate look in his eyes.
And like the wispy bangs in his eyes.
No.
Wispy bangs in the pirate shirt. Like, guys, these aren't even realistic bangs. Nobody has bangs in this in real life. But like, why is it so hot when it's animated?
Wait a second. Oh my God. Okay, y'all. I'm going to send you on Instagram a picture of my husband like 2 days ago when he woke up and his hair was like all in his face. And I was like, you look so amazing. I'm going to take a picture of you.
His bangs look like this?
They could, but they're not exactly like this, but they're pretty nice. This man he hates long hair, but he grows it from me because he knows I love it. He would have a really short haircut if he was up to him. But he knows that I love long hair on men, and he keeps it. Okay, I'm gonna send you the one where he's making a funny, supposedly sexy face because he knows how I think about it. And then the one that shows his beautiful hair. His hair needs to be washed. Sorry, I'm just letting you know, but it's like, so gorgeous. I love it so much.
Johan, work it.
I love the finger in the mouth. What a little like model pose, huh?
I know, he's hilarious. Okay,
got yourself a good one there, Mindy. He's got some good wave.
Yeah, I know.
Really good wave.
The whole world.
I know. Whoever's listening to this on like audio, like
this is his sexy pose, y'all.
Everybody go to YouTube to see Mindy's husband sexy pose.
Yeah. My husband, when he wakes up in the morning, he's Filipino, so he has very, very, very like thick, dark, just Asian hair. And his hair in the morning, like he gels it back every single day because it's like kind of longer and thick. But every morning when he wakes up, he has I call it the perfect Leonardo DiCaprio from the Titanic. It's like perfect down the middle and it's super fluffy. It's it's so good. I'm like, oh, you're Leonardo DiCaprio here. It's just
he should wear his hair like that then. Why is he gelling it back?
It's so fluffy though. Like it's really fluffy. Like he needs some hairspray. He just gels it back and it looks really good. He looks good both ways.
Well, Lily, I think
he's a good looking guy. He's got good hair, but yeah, no, I'll sometimes push his hair to the front and I'm like, you got Kieran things. Like so close. See, I'm even trying. Sometimes Kieran's hair almost looks a little curly. But
curly?
I mean like wavy sometimes. And then if I put a high bun, I could be Kieran for Halloween.
You just need a pirate shirt.
Titty window.
I never thought about that. Yeah. You could dress up as Kieran. I like it.
Yeah, I could be Kieran.
Okay.
I want to be Bella. I want to be Bella for Halloween.
Oh, that would be that would be
way more fun costume wise, but
yeah. Okay. You're giving me ideas.
Oh my God, Mindy, we should do a podcast where we dress up.
Oh God.
I have a shirt that's sort of like what they wear.
I don't know what we could do, but I want to do it.
Okay. Well, next week, guys, that's our challenge. I was like, well, we could dress up as shirtless Kieran.
Kieran? That is definitely Story Tinker After Dark.
I mean, I don't mind, but definitely Story Tinker After Dark.
Yeah, there's kids out there. Sorry, guys. not this episode, but no, we should totally dress. We should try to dress up. I think that'd be fun.
Okay. All right.
Our best.
Yeah, I'm thinking through my closet. What do I have?
I know. I might just throw on some red lipstick and try to do a pink situation. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Cool. So he reaches to hug her, which is, oh my gosh. These people are hugging right and left. Like,
it's the season of hugs. It's the season of hugs.
They have the hug at the factory, and then the hug when Lauren's crying after she's being hypnotized. I mean, these people.
And then he was holding her at the hospital, and then I
know. It's like, in like Regency era romance novels where it's like they like you get a little peek of like an ankle or like a wrist. And you get for hugs,
Yes.
Yeah, that's how slow burn this romance has been. We're really getting off on these hugs.
Yeah.
I happen to appreciate that. I think that's why, like, I love romance in books, and I like more young adult fiction. I think because it kind of stays at that level. I don't necessarily find like sex described in books. Like, it doesn't really do anything for me. Like, I love the emotional stuff, like the hugs and the kisses and you put his hand on her cheek, like that kind of stuff.
It needs to be done well. Like, it needs to actually be part of the progression and not just bam.
Yeah. But it's like the emotional tenderness, or like my friends and I like to call it like horny tenderness. Like that's what we're looking for in like romance comics or books.
That's perfect, Emily.
Yeah, we're looking for the horny tenderness.
Exactly. This is exactly where we're at.
I don't even think this is horny. I think this particular case, I think it's just like compassionate,
It's underlying. It's in there deep down.
Yeah. We're throwing it on them. We're the horny. They're the tenderness, and we're the horny.
Exactly. Which that's okay.
I mean, Lauren's about to see, so she's about to be.
Well, actually, okay, fine. We'll talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, but unfortunately, the hugging does not happen because he is in pain, and he goes back to clutch his back, and
was cock blocked by his own shoulder.
Probably like kicking himself in his head right now.
Yeah, he's like, God damn it! Why now?
Yeah, well, it was Rafael, so basically it's Rafael.
I mean, everything has been Rafael's fault so far this season.
If he ever sees Rafael again, he'll be like, "You cost me a hug with Lauren."
Well, he might have cost him a hug, but what is he bringing him?
You might thank him later.
Yeah.
Thank him later.
And she's like, "What's wrong?" And he's like, "Ugh." And you see a blood spreading on his shirt, on his back, and he is, it's his arm, right? His hand is on his shoulder.
He's kind of grabbing it like this.
And she asks, "Were you injured yesterday?" And he's like, "Oh, a few punches and that cut. He was hella better than I would ever expect from a messenger. Besides, he stuck up behind me, which I usually never allow to happen."
I love that Kieran said hella.
Hella? Why? It's cute.
Right? Hella was so like people would say that when I was in high school, 20.
Is Kieran from the Bay Area? Is this Bay Area Kieran? This is the only place I've been that they say that.
Was Kieran on Tumblr in 2014?
That's funny.
I don't know. I thought that was funny.
I've never heard anyone saying it in real life, but I have read it, a lot.
You might hear it more now, Emily, that you live in
I definitely Los Angeles. People use it all the time here.
Oh yeah, no, when I lived in San Diego for a little bit, I was like, oh, and the Bay Area for a year, I was like, oh, people actually say this. This isn't just on TV.
Oh, that is funny. And he says, "Something tells me that he's been in this Phantom Scythe business for a long time." And then casually lifting his shirt. Oh, by the way, did anyone think do you ever think about the different ways people can take off their shirt? I've noticed I always take off my shirt in the same way, and it's I don't typically do that, but that is.
You want to do the cross?
No,
but it's hot. Why is the cross so just the
cross is you're about to have some fun probably.
Right, I know. Yeah, you're right. In movies, they always do that. That's
always, and it's slow. It's always I'm not actually going to take my shirt off, but they always do it really slow. Yeah.
Oh, and we see, yes,
it's already just the beginning, like.
Yeah. Yes, that man works out. Let's just say.
His whole life is a workout.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about it for a while. Just this like 2 inches of skin that we see here. It's like,
no, oh yeah, like Emily, like you said, just an ankle. This is the ankle.
Yeah.
This is the ankle.
But then the very next panel.
Yeah, and his shirt is off, and
yeah, he says, I think a stitch pop. Like, I didn't even read what he said. I
was like, what? Like, wow. Sir, I'm looking respectfully, but also not very respectfully.
Also very like disrespectfully, and I'm okay with that.
I have notes. I haven't even looked at them. Like, I'm just completely lost it.
I have notes for later, but for the first part, when I read this, it was just like my brain just shut down. It was just
okay. I have one intelligent thing.
Okay.
Intelligent thing. It's interesting how the last time they were in the cave was 93, right? And that's when she went up to him and said, "Take off your shirt."
Oh, yes.
He goes, huh? And she goes, "Take off." And she basically does it for him, and he's all apprehensive and stuff. This man is just no apprehension now, just stripping it off in front of her. Like, he doesn't even care about showing her his injuries now. Like, he's not trying to hide it like before. He's comfortable with her, not only to take his shirt off, but also see the injuries.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big progression in just a few weeks.
Yeah. I do have to say, if he's like sexually attracted to her, I feel like he would be more self-conscious. So I'm gonna try to not reconcile this, because in my head I want him to be sexually attracted to her. So whatever, like, right, if you're attracted to someone, you're like self-conscious about like your body, and like you notice, like you would be like, he would be more,
he looks good,
right?
Like, he knows.
You're like shy, I don't know. Like, you would be like, oh, is she looking at me?
I feel like he's more shy for like the emotional aspect, but like the physical part, I feel like Kieran knows he looks good. And he knows like when he takes his shirt off. I mean, later he even says like, eyes up here.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Right. I think he's actually, I don't think he walks around thinking like, oh, I'm hot. I think he just doesn't, I think he maybe doesn't think of himself as like, in terms of like, oh, I have a body and like it's cool. Like, I think he's just he's just comfortable with her.
He thinks highly of himself in any regard, because he obviously doesn't think of himself well mentally, like for who he is. He thinks he's a monster. And I do think that there is a strong connection on how you see the mind and body are very closely linked, as much as we try to deny it. And how you think and view yourself physically can affect yourself mentally, and vice versa. And so for him to not think of himself so highly in his mind, he could think like, he does get the outward appreciation, like, at the bar, like all the women were all over him. And, when he's at the precinct, Kim's like, oh, he's so handsome. He's the new precinct prince. And people are constantly commenting on how good looking he is. Like, even when Lauren, who never wants to admit it, gets reverted to being a 10-year-old, is like, that's the first thing she says. She's like, oh my God, this guy's so handsome. And then Artemis was joking, handsome boy. So it's very clear that he gets that attention from the outside world, but if he doesn't believe it, then it doesn't matter. Right. So
I think also, I mean, and this might also be my personal like opinions on the topic, I think he's not so shallow. Like, he's like, I am not my body. Like, I am, my brain, my personality, whatever, my behavior. Like, I don't think he's that superficial.
And he's like, also, Mindy, might not be so attached to his body, because unfortunately his body has just been used as a tool, and he's been a killing machine, that he can't even look at himself in the mirror. Like, we know that he can't even look at himself in the mirror without seeing a monster. So of course he's not going to look in the mirror and be like, hey, good looking. But he may get that verbal affirmation from other people, like, oh yeah, I'm probably a good looking guy, but he doesn't. But
it kind of like rolls off. Like, he might not internalize it that much. He might just be like, yeah, like, they think I have a nice body, but like, it's maybe not.
But I'm a monster. I think that's what he thinks.
Like, not to deal with him, or his body has been used as a weapon. So he's like, they see a beautiful body, and I see weapon.
Yeah. A killing machine. Yeah.
But indeed, he's got the muscles, and they're well developed, and Yes.
Mm.
I go to the gym, right? And like, I don't know if I could accurately say that
What?
I don't go, that I don't enjoy the sights that I see.
Well, yeah. You're a normal, healthy, red-blooded woman.
Right.
Like you said, it's human and it's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
You're
I joke
just
about it with
looking, you're not, yeah, it's called window shopping. You're not touching anything.
Yeah. So now Lauren is noticing, she notices the scar in his shoulder, and it's like really emphasized. We have 2 whole panels of it. She doesn't mention it though. So, but she notices, so I think, you know, it'll come up eventually, right? We have been explained what it is, but she doesn't know yet. And he's like, just totally not minding that he's like naked in front of her. He's like, ah, and you know, unwrapping his bandages. Now we see, yeah, more of his
amazing arm.
She looks so concerned in the back. Like if you zoom in, she looks so sad for him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because she's seen like all of his scars, I think.
Yeah.
And also, like he mentions it in some of the next panels, but that he was, you know, had the flagellation scars, but they're on the front too. A lot of times flagellation scars are only on the back. Like,
yeah.
So that means they whipped him in the front too. Like that's, ooh.
Seriously, these people. Horrible.
But he does look really hot right there.
Sorry,
I'm just like, okay, Mindy, how you are with hands, like it's the neck.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The neck for me. The neck right there.
Mm.
Sorry.
I was like, Lily, you want to nuzzle into that neck?
What?
You want to nuzzle into that neck?
Yes, I do. I want to be Lauren. I just want,
yes.
right in that neck.
Like what arms. That's like my favorite body part.
What arms?
What? Arms?
Yeah. If you have nice arms, I'm gone.
Honor, gone.
Oh.
I apologize, listeners, for this being the horniest episode.
I was like, I don't know. I was
like, I'm sorry, not sorry.
I'm sure everyone else reading this, they are having the exact same thoughts. Okay. How could you not see Kieran?
I mean, they drew this for us. Like, why else is he naked?
We have to appreciate it.
Right, exactly. This is just appreciating Sophie for all their hard work.
I know. Soph spent hours drawing this, so we have to. I'm just appreciating her hard work and dedication.
Every line.
Every single little line.
Every line, every shadow.
Every chisel. Every dip.
But Lauren, unlike us, is not thinking about that. Lauren is concerned for his well-being because she says, he thinks he keeps pushing his body to his limits despite injuries that haven't healed, despite the pain. What kind of training did he undergo to be able to withstand that? And you know, she had this question already before, like about that. So, but now, unlike last time, she actually asks about it, and she thinks he's covered in scars. What did they do to him? And then you see that long cut from Rafael. But like, my question is like, who stitched this exactly? Because I don't.
Maybe he got the doctor. Doctor friend. I'm sure because you can like. I know he can do stitches because we know from 36 and 37 he can do that. But you can't stitch that area. That's absolutely impossible.
Doctor friend.
And also another kudos to Soph and F with F's medical knowledge. These are really realistic looking stitches. Like this is really well done.
Cool. Yeah.
The little sutures and the little ties, you know. They could have just made it real jagged and you know, cartoony looking, but good job.
Also,
but I love how like for all the scars, I feel like Soph just took a crayon, just like,
oh my gosh, the back muscles are so good too. They look great.
The back. Oh my god, the arm, the neck, the back of the neck,
the arms, the neck, upper back, the whole shebang.
The whole thing.
Oh, yeah, and it's funny. I am noticing the hands. I didn't even think about it. Like,
oh yeah,
just beautiful.
Kieran, take out your little bun.
I know, right? The hair. And
we'll ever get it. We'll ever get his hair down.
We've had it a couple of times. Well, maybe that'll be like the bombastic scene where there'll be like a kiss or something and it'll be also the hair and we're just gonna explode.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Her hands in his hair down.
Okay.
Actually, it's hot. It's hot in here. Oh my god.
If we get a hair grip, I'm exploding.
And then this is Kieran's fourth wall break to the readers. Eyes up here. Knows.
I love
knows
it.
that we're not paying attention.
Like that little snarky grin. I love it.
So cute.
So funny. Also, I just noticed his ears, like the inside of his ears have been like very pink the whole every panel that they're in, they're like bright pink.
A little pink, yeah. Somebody had mentioned that in the Discord and said he's blushing, but then somebody else said that that's like an artistic way to draw ears to make it look like, because
I was wondering if it's just like part of the shadow. Like
yeah, it was more like a shadow, like I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I know. I noticed like I don't know. I didn't notice in other episodes, but this episode it's like they're all pink. But anywho. And then she ignores that and asks, how did you get the scars on your back? Which good for her, because these two like need to communicate. And I'm so happy that she's asking like a real question.
Finally,
serious.
Finally, these two don't talk about anything personal.
I mean, they do, but like there's more that they haven't talked about.
They're very cryptic.
And like Kieran's backstory, we have so little of it. And I mean, this episode you get more, but it's
still cryptic. Very well. We do get more information.
I know. I was like shocked that we got what we did. So he freezes first, which is, I will say, it's a little interesting because the fact that he took off his shirt, he's not dumb. Like he knows that his scars are very visible.
He can notice exactly. I don't know. I guess he thought that she wouldn't say anything. Like ask the personal question. You know what I mean?
Maybe. So yeah, Lauren notices that. She pauses and then looks away. She's like, sorry, I didn't mean to. But he continues and he finally says, it's all right. And he pauses for a bit. He's not looking at her. And he says, flogging, I wasn't very obedient when I was brought into the Phantom Scythe. So you could tell it's a little hard for him to talk about it, but I'm so happy that he is.
Like the body language before, like they were open and like, you know, facing each other. And now when he's getting into his backstory, he's turned away. He doesn't want to see her reaction. And he's like looking down, just like, you know, trying to take care of himself, grabbing medicine. And he's like very closed off now.
Yeah.
But the fact that he's even talking is amazing. It shows how far they've come.
Huge development.
But he's like powering through. He's saying the things that he wants to say.
Yep. And she's like, but why? How did you come to be part of the Phantom Scythe? And it's like, yes, Lauren, ask that question, ask it.
Finally.
And he answers, and this is interesting. He says, sometimes, this is the most theorizing part of the episode. Sometimes I still ask myself the same question. I never really knew why. They thought I was someone else. Know this. Okay. And they could use me to blackmail whoever was their target. So do you think he knows who this someone else was and he didn't want to tell her?
This is where, I mean, are we going to talk about our theories now here or at the end?
This is probably a good spot.
Okay, fine. You know, I guess, what do you want? We could read everything and then theorize.
Okay.
Or we at least read a little more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Okay. And he says, they took me. I was a street painter. It wasn't hard. I remember we saw that episode. Oh, we totally saw that episode where they like, you know,
they covered him up. Right? Yeah, he was in there, and then they were like, "Oh shit, people noticed," and then they covered him up. That was him. He was there. We have confirmation on that.
In that episode, in the background, the easels and the paint canvases and the easels show up several times. That you're like, okay, I should be looking at this, and everything else is blurry in the background except the easels.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we knew this already. And he says, when they realized that they were mistaken, they couldn't just let me go. They kept me and made me useful. Bitter smile. And gods know that I've been useful to them. And then she asks, why didn't you run away? Hide you where they couldn't find you? And then we have this like very jarring like panel surrounding.
It's got like
barbed wire look.
Barbed wire or something. It's just, it's like so
like jagged lines.
Yeah.
And it's like very emphatic. He says dryly, I couldn't. And that's it. Like he doesn't elaborate, doesn't say why. All right, you want to do some theorizing now?
Yes.
Oh boy.
All right.
Where do we even start? Okay.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I had this theory before that Kieran is like this. It had to do with what I read of Victor Hugo's book that he pulled out in
The Secret Garden, right?
Yeah, it was the other one. It was The Man Who Laughs.
The Man Who Laughs, that he was like a secret royal child or something.
Right, that's what I thought.
I know. I was thinking of you, Mindy, when I was reading the episode. I was like, well, Mindy's theory is out. He's a street painter. Right. I mean, I guess it's not completely like, unless he was the hidden street painter.
Right. Yeah, that would make it more complicated, but maybe, right?
So the person that was supposed to be taken, do we think that it was Lauren, and Lauren was going to be used as a hostage to blackmail her parents because they weren't adhering to the leader's orders?
That's kind of what I started to like theorize about today, because it has to be someone that had status or was important enough to even create a blackmail situation.
Exactly.
Right. But I mean, to me, that's like Lauren is a female with red hair and Kieran is a male with black hair. Like, I mean, whoever was doing the kidnapping was like really bad. Like
that's what I was wondering. But like, do we know? We don't know when Kieran was kidnapped, correct?
Or no, we don't. No.
We don't know, but I'm going to assume it was the ATST.
That's what I was thinking. And then maybe they were just grabbing children, or they just grabbed him, and maybe in like the heat, I mean, like in the explosion and everything, they were just grabbing maybe children, and they thought.
Well, so we know because he was the kid with the easel that he was at that festival, right? So like we know he wasn't taken before then. He also, what's interesting is that we get these flashbacks, like we get that flashback in, God, I don't remember.
The one where he's drawing, and the
one where he's drawing, and he looks so much older there than some of the flashbacks where he's yelling run. So I also don't know if that's just like an art continuity thing, or if that younger kid is actually supposed to be somebody else and we're just supposed to think it's Kieran.
Right. Well, I actually think that time when he's drawing, I think he's in the Phantom Scythe, but he has like a moment of respite. That's how I saw it.
Do you think?
Yeah. Because he draws
back in like street, like it looks like he was outside though. He was like, if you look at those panels.
Oh, I thought he was just like by a window with a lot of sunlight.
No, it's like he's outside and there's like plants, and it almost looks like it could be at that festival or something, or he's just like a street artist. But it makes me think that they didn't let him go back and do that. So I don't know if it's like a continuity thing with the way they drew his age, like how old he looked in the flashbacks. Because I mean, let's not lie, they kind of did that with Sandman. So but I don't know what. Because the day of the ATST, Dylan and Lauren were together, right? And Mr. Rosenthal sent them away, and then that car like went for them and swerved. And then Lauren was injured, and Dylan, ran away and to get help and was never to be seen again. So I'm thinking, what if that car was supposed to be a car that was supposed to be getting
Dylan and Lauren
and Dylan?
Yeah.
And then Dylan ran to go get help. What if he ran to the stalls and Kieran was there and he ran into Kieran and they went to,
Then I don't know. They're still very bad kidnappers, because they like if they were that car, why did they swerve and not just take them there? I don't
know. Unless the leader is Mr. Rosenthal and he gave very bad directions and said, "Hey, just kidnap the kid that's with my son."
right. I mean, bad planning. I don't know.
Bad planning, but
I could see Kieran being kidnapped at the train explosion. It just seemed to be like a perfect, melding of events, and everybody was there that day.
And one of the themes of the story is that everybody's trauma is like related to the ATST, because like Will's trauma, that's the day that Rafael left.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it makes me think like that has to be the day that he was
between Kieran and the explosion, and maybe that's when he was taken. Yeah.
But what about that flashback that we had with young Kieran saying "run" and he's like in pajamas and he looks younger, A, there, and B, like it doesn't look like a train station. It looks like a house invasion kind of thing.
I think that those flashbacks are he's kidnapped and he's being held in the Phantom Scythe, and he and the protectee or whoever the other kid is or whatever, they get a chance and they try to escape. So he's saying run, because he says that he wasn't obedient. So I think he tried to escape multiple times, because when he says I couldn't, I think it means like I tried and I could not.
Oh, I thought he couldn't because of he was protecting someone, right? The protectee. So he couldn't leave because like they would kill him.
Well, and you know how we see that scene where like he sees somebody being beaten with a bat? Right. I think they tried to escape and they beat the protectee or whoever that was.
That was a man. That was a grown man. I mean, we don't know who the protectee is. Maybe the protectee is a grown man. I don't know, but like.
And I mean, he also has said like the Phantom Scythe has spies everywhere. So let's say he did escape and he was successful, they could just find him again probably at that point.
Yeah, he could have escaped and then been brought back, you know.
I don't know. I'm not like on board with the ATST kidnapping time, mainly because it's too convenient, you know. So I mean, I don't know if that's a good evidence against something that everything points to it. Like, I don't know.
I just feel like
I think all roads so far have led to the explosion, and that's why I'm like, I think.
Yeah, I feel like I mean, it could be another timeline, but I think the important thing is like, who was it supposed to be? Seems like, and like, also, I think I said this. Wait, what, Emily?
Like, who would have like what kid would have status that would even like generate a serious blackmail situation for Phantom Scythe? And I mean, Lauren, you know, her parents were very prominent, and we know, you know, about their other activities. So I don't know.
I feel like it has to be Lauren based on her parents, but also I'm like, could it have been somebody was going after Dylan because Mr. Rosenthal is a lot more of a prominent figure than we
know
realize. And it's also interesting because Sandman says in the flashback when she's talking to him, he says, we were ordered to bring the kid to the apostle, not to the leader.
Oh, interesting.
So which apostle, like why? Like did the leader order this, or did an apostle order this? You know what I mean?
Probably Apostle 10, no? Because he's the one that was referred to as his master. So I mean, it makes sense that he was the one who ordered kidnapping, no?
I mean, it would make sense, but like why was it such a, like, how did they make that mistake? How did they mistake? If it is, that's the only thing I can't understand. Like, if it was supposed to be Lauren, why did they get Kieran? And even though Dylan's a boy and Kieran's a boy, like the hair color is not the same. So like, I just don't, there has to be something we're missing. I just don't know what it is. But
who does Kieran look like? Who would Kieran resemble when he was younger that they would mistake him for another child? You know,
what if that's here to tie in another royal child theory? What if there was a royal child, another one besides for Arthur that we don't know about?
Oh, a secret royal, another royal child.
Oh my God, Mindy, I will just lose it if your theory is correct. I will just lose.
Stuck on it. I only read 800 pages of Victor Hugo's novel. It has to be here somewhere.
There's a royal child somewhere in the story.
Yeah, it was a good book, by the way. It was also.
But the only thing that makes me think he's not is because they go on to say like, it was a mistake. We realized it was a mistake. We had to keep him anyways. But I feel like if he was really a royal child, I don't know.
No. I mean, maybe Kieran looks like that royal, the other royal kid.
I don't know. But then there's that flashback that he, you know, when he killed Chandelier Man, and Chandelier Man said, "Don't never forget who you were. That boy. Don't forget who you are," or something like that.
Right. Don't forget your humanity.
I thought about that too, because I'm like, well, who was this boy? Is he referring to Kieran? Like, did he know Kieran as a street painter before, you know, like that part of him like died or disappeared?
That would be interesting.
It would be really interesting if he was like a bastard child of the king, like he had some mistress or woman on the side who was not a noble, and he was just raised to be, you know, was raised with his mother and was a street painter, but they always kind of had like eyes on him because he was you know. I feel like I could maybe see that. Wait,
what if he wasn't actually a mistake in kidnapping, but they just told him he was a mistake in kidnapping? Then my theory could still be correct.
Oh, but that adds such another level. I don't know, but okay. this is another thing I noticed too, because remember when the leader said a man whose life we turned upside down? And I thought that was so weird when I read it the first time. I was like, that was just weird phrasing. But the leader literally means we took him by mistake.
Right.
Turned this man's life upside down.
For no reason.
Quite literally, we ruined his life because we accidentally
we made a mistake.
Yeah. We made a mistake and then we couldn't take him back because he
knew too much.
He already knew too much, even though I don't know how much he knew when he was that young already. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me think like it really, I don't know. It really isn't.
I'll stand by my theory. I think it's something related to the explosion. Lauren doesn't make sense, but she also does make sense in a way.
Well,
a kid, like in the explosion, and maybe they knew, oh, Lauren hangs out with Dylan, and they saw him and Dylan at the train station together, maybe.
And there was a lot of fire around, so it made his hair look red.
Maybe. And then like in the explosion, maybe they saw Dylan and then they saw this other little child and they were like, oh, this is the one.
Maybe Kieran had long hair back then.
Were they?
Maybe he was going through a hair dye phase.
Were they supposed to take Will?
Will's blonde. These people are so bad at their job.
We don't have any other dark haired.
Will would be the only other option, I think. But I think it's related to the train station explosion.
Because remember, there was that really suspicious looking guy that was told Will to go away.
He was on the bench. Yeah.
Definitely sus.
Oh, I don't know. The only thing that makes sense to me is Lauren, but it also doesn't make sense because who's important enough for
her parents are good blackmail material.
And I mean that could be. I mean, Will
also have money.
Will also had status.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they could have blackmailed Stefan, and
but it just has to be a child from like a high class family, I think,
or someone important in another way.
Yeah. Like I said, unless Mr. Rosenthal was higher up in the PS.
Well,
I don't know.
It wasn't PS yet, but yeah.
I don't know.
No, it was.
Then it makes sense as to why Robin Delaney was murdered. They like killed him shortly after because he majorly fucked up. That's why they're like, dude, you did not get the right kid. You're out of here. So now it makes sense as to why he died because he did such a crappy job. But like, that's what I'm saying, where the direction's just not clear. Like, get whatever kid is with the silver-haired boy.
Yeah, that's a dumb bad plan.
They just hear like the friend, like get the child who's walking with this boy, or like this boy's friend or something. But they would still then have to know Dylan in a capacity to like make that reference. So I have a lot of questions about this.
So once again, we get answers and more questions.
Answers in severe quotation marks.
There's just so many questions.
That's good.
We get almost no answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Kieran doesn't know either, so we're all in the dark. But yeah, so I love it. It's very dramatic. And Lauren stands there and she's just, I think, emotional, like doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, she's very like far away, I think, emotionally.
I think she feels bad for him, and I think she doesn't know what to say. And then actually, we actually know what she's thinking. She's related to herself. Kieran is stepping away, and now she is like in the shadow of herself in red, and she thinks, was he kidnapped too? Was he one of the two children? He can't be. They're dead. He wasn't lying. It can't be. It'd make no sense. Yet, what if he was? And Lauren, I have to say, for someone with your like deductive reasoning skills, cannot you figure it out that it means one kid died and the other kid is alive? Like, oh my God. This is Sandman though. Because she's talking about what Kieran told her, where he said they're dead.
Yeah, exactly. But Sandman said
they're yes, no, yeah. I don't know.
Yes, no.
Oh, that was Sake.
Right, Sake. Sorry, Sake.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, no, I don't know.
Oh my God. And I'm like, yeah. So to me, it's very obvious. Like, what? Yeah, it means logically it could only be one's alive, one's dead.
Yeah.
But and yeah, Kieran's answer, I mean, I always thought it was like an emotional answer. It was like that.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought too. I thought it was like, oh, the person that I was, my past self is dead, and now I'm a killing machine.
Oh, baby. But now will she do the logical thing and ask him? No.
Like we could possibly get that, Mindy.
Right. One obfuscating answer was enough for this episode. He's taking out the medical kit, tippity tappiting, taking it out. She's looking at him. She opens her mouth. She says, Kieran. She starts to ask, but then she freezes. And then we have like this shadow monstery smiley face. And it's
the upside down. It's Kieran in the upside down. Y'all watch Stranger Things?
No, but I know that reference because I heard about it. So but yeah, it's like probably Dylan's voice in her head again. And he says, why are you so scared to ask, Ren? Scared to know how you failed, coward?
That can't be Dylan's voice unless she's just imagining it in Dylan's voice, because Dylan wouldn't call her.
No. I think she feels guilty over not helping Dylan and all that stuff. So I think she hears in Dylan's voice. I'm assuming she's hearing
guilt manifesting. Yeah, it's the guilt manifesting inside.
Mm-hmm. Oh, because of that, she doesn't say anything. Now you're a coward, Lauren. Sorry to say, like, I always say, like, the hardest thing ever.
Just ask. He'll tell you.
I know. But no, that would solve things too fast. So we're just going to have to be...
Too fast? We're on episode 135?
Yeah.
Too fast?
Yes. This is a slow burn in every way.
She's just so scared because this has been her reason to live for 10 years.
Yeah. Agree.
It's kind of interesting. There's a kind of a phenomenon like in the meta, like I don't know, I can't remember the exact word for it, but like some people will actually prolong their disease or their illness because they don't want to be well or get well because they identify with their disease. And so some people, like, that's all they know. So some people identify so much with being ill or being in the hospital or having that, diagnosis, and that's their self-identity, that they actually don't want to get better. And that's kind of what I thought of with this. Like she doesn't know what she's going to do.
Yeah.
And she actually gets an answer and she knows for sure that he's dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating, but I think you're 100% right. Like it's consistent with her emotional level right now. Well, there would be no story if people did the right thing and, did the
we love these nuanced, complex characters.
Right. There'd be no 135 episodes without the slow burn of both their relationship and also a slow burn of information.
Yes. Trickle of
information.
So she does not ask him. And Kieran misinterprets her silence. He's like, I don't need pity. I'm like, no, she wasn't pitying you. Maybe she does, but really she was just thinking about herself. Sorry, Kieran.
She was thinking about the car kids. Right. Sorry, bruh.
And her hand's trembling, and he says, I've made choices. And at some point, she releases her hand. I chose to stay to end everything from within. And look at that poor man. His face is in the dark because he feels so ashamed of himself.
I know, whenever they don't show his eyes like that, like we can comment on it in the next, like one of the next panels, but it, like, you can tell that he's seeing himself as not human, as a monster, because you don't see his eyes. And then she talks to him, and then you turn and get the most beautiful panel, and it's just his eyes are just glowing, and you can see it's like nothing but humanity. It's nothing but humanity in that panel.
Oh, is it inappropriate to kiss the cell phone? Look, it's
no, let's do it together.
1, 2. Oh,
yeah, I don't do that when I'm by myself ever. Like,
oh, no, not with all the Kieran panels we got this episode.
No, I don't ever do that. That's totally
because it's unsafe to lick electronics. Oh God. Oh, so that amazing look isn't, so he's like feeling all ashamed and, because he feels like he's a monster and all that. But Lauren's response is, well, I think it was a good decision. And that's why we get that shocked look. Because he's like, yes,
He got some validation.
They're looking at each other, and then the light is bouncing off of his eyes. I'm like, she just brought the light back to him.
The humanity. She brings out the humanity in him.
Mm-hmm.
This is just within 2-3 panels. It's just night and day.
Yeah. And I think too, like this, I made some notes on this, but like where he says, I chose to stay to end everything from within. And then she validates, she's validating, like the public perception of him is this monster where he is like a terror to the city. But he's like, no, I chose to stay here because I want to bring down the Phantom Scythe. And then you have only one person who has been able to validate the decision that he made to stay.
Because he feels guilt about it. The choice for him to stay is for him to continue to be a killing machine.
Right. And
like regardless of whether the same people would have died because they just would have replaced him or someone else would have done it. Like we all know that. But he still feels guilt that he's doing it. Like he's still the one executing those orders.
Mm-hmm. And Bella just raised it, right? She was like, well, we all could end it. And so I think that's fairly recent and fresh on his mind where he's like, yeah, I'm choosing to murder these people rather than like kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that he might intellectually know it's like the sort of justified choice, but he still feels very guilty about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think it's also Lauren sort of like, I don't know, in a way, like saying that she trusts in Kieran and she trusts his actions. Even when he thinks, he's a monster and this was maybe a bad choice and he doesn't want, her judgment. But she's saying, no, I trust this decision. And I think it was a good decision that you made.
Amazing. It's quite incredible for her to say that.
So good. It's so good.
I
was wondering, like, in that sense, because, he said he wants to stay to take down the Phantom Scythe. I know, like, Lily had mentioned it on, like, a previous episode that we had done, but, like, does Kieran necessarily see himself as a martyr for the city and like trying to bring down the Phantom Scythe in a way? Like he's putting himself out there to try to take it down from within, and that's very dangerous for him. I mean,
right? I don't think he sees himself as a martyr because that's like too good for him,
Yeah.
Not necessarily a martyr, but I do have this kind of like headcanon that he wants to destroy everything from within and then kill the leader, and then I know it's not popular, sorry, but like maybe actually end his life because he can't live with the guilt stuff.
Don't do it, Kieran.
I know, I don't want him to. I'm just saying I wouldn't be shocked if the storyline took that direction or his character takes that direction. I don't want him to because I want him to have the growth, through his relationship with Lauren, that he values himself and sees himself as a, human being that's worthy of redemption and love and a life. He still obviously he has sins to atone for, but he's also trying to do good. It's just an incredibly complex, nuanced scenario. Like there's no
absolutely. And I mean, he's like, the decision to stay, he basically has given up every possible chance so far at like a regular life, even though, he most likely could not have escaped. But he's given up everything solely to try to bring down this organization. Yeah.
I know. It also makes me think like, when he was younger and he was a kid, he tried to escape or couldn't escape. He was obviously held in like that dungeon or whatever. Like, but as he got older and they trained him to be the PH, like he wasn't on a leash the entire time. Like he trained with Bella. He obviously has a huge degree of freedom that he has his own apartment and things like that. And then we also know he was overseas at some point, which I'm like so curious about that. So I mean, realistically, he could have run away.
But he stayed around.
But he stayed. Like he could have. It could have been difficult to stay in Ardalis because there's so many Phantom Scythe members that know his face. But like he could have. I mean, we don't know like all the modes of transportation, but like a ship, a train, like he could have gone somewhere and started a new life and started a new identity. And there's other countries that we know of.
Plastic surgery.
But But he, dyed his hair, whatever, become Dylan. Like, he stayed.
Yeah.
Staying to do it. So even though he couldn't escape when he was 14, like, you're not telling me he couldn't escape when he was in his 20s.
Right.
Like,
yeah, exactly. So, yeah,
like, as smart as him.
Yeah, so like not quite a martyr, but there is a huge level of like sacrifice that he has done.
Yeah.
As he got.
I mean, we see it like that, but I don't think he sees himself as a morally good person. Oh, Harvey. Oh, I love that look so much. And she steps forward to him, and he's shocked. He's like, what, this lady is not repulsed by me, and she wants to come closer to me. And he turns away. I think he can't even, I think he's like uncomfortable with her, going to what he assumes correctly is going to be express affection. I don't think he feels he deserves it.
Yeah, those are such interesting panels. I didn't really quite get it at first. Because she takes a step, he kind of has that surprised look and then turns. And you see that's the back of her head. That's like her hair. That's right there.
Yeah. I think it's again because the perception of him is this monster, and then here Lauren said, you made a good decision, and I don't think anyone has ever actually told him that or like praised him in that sort of way.
Right.
Yeah.
Versus like praise with murder probably, but no one has ever praised him for trying to do something good.
Yeah, I don't think anyone sees him as the martyr either. Everyone sees him as bad, but they don't know his motivations. Right. By the way, I think that's her arm and her breast in this second one.
Oh, like her shoulder.
Yeah. You see the top of her hair on top over there.
Oh yeah, I see it. It's just the shading. Then she reaches for his wrist.
I know.
His hand, and it's the hand that like he kills people with, but the light is shining.
Oh, so beautiful. She says, I'll help you. And then she's looking in his eyes with a smile on her face. And he's still shocked. And they are so close, and he's naked.
He's like right up against that shoulder. She is.
Like, there is such like a softness in her look. And the softness in her look is contrasted against like his face, which is just like shock, that
like just pure surprise
right there. Yeah. Like she validated him, and she's so close.
He's malfunctioning. Like he's like, it's like Kieran not compute. Like he cannot compute. He's like, I was vulnerable. I told her stuff. She accepted me. She validated me. I'm shutting down.
And she's coming close.
And she's coming closer.
While he's naked.
So close. Kieran's naked. I couldn't ask for like a better episode.
No, like 10 out of 10. So good. But it's interesting. She says, I'll help you. And I saw both ways. I think it means his back, and I think it also means take it down from within.
Both.
Yes.
Yeah, it's both. It's that was so well done that it could go both ways.
Wait, does that mean she's going to join the PS? Oh my God.
That would Lauren, she's going to go to the underground. Yes, I do. I think Lauren is going to go to the underground.
Well, that would be dramatic in so many ways for everyone.
I think it's gonna happen.
But who knows that she's Loon? Like, it's the same. If the Phantom Scythe knows that she's Loon, they're like, well, now you want to join us? I don't trust you.
No, she's gonna have to go undercover or something.
Shouldn't be like,
or team up with Bella, like pretend to be Bella's prisoner or something.
Oh,
where like they handcuff them and treat them like shit, but like secretly they're like sneaking them in.
So many ways. I don't think Bella will be the vehicle, because Bella is not like actively working against the Phantom Scythe. I think she's too complacent. But yeah.
Guys, I cannot wait for next week. I like every day I wake up, I'm like, we're one day closer.
Well, tomorrow's Thursday, and Thursday is basically the weekend, and like Monday.
And like then after the weekend, it's Monday, and then we have oh my God.
Hey, what do we think is gonna happen next episode?
I would love a flash back to other characters and storylines. I will riot. Like if it doesn't continue in the cave, I will actually.
I don't think so, because Soph shared today on her Instagram. She's like, if you want to fast
pass. No, that's right. She did say. Yeah. So it's gonna be a continuation. So I think we're gonna. What?
I mean, I would like this I don't know if we'll get a kiss. I would love a kiss.
I don't think we're gonna get a kiss.
I don't think we're gonna get a kiss.
A caress. I'm also
a caress.
Where? I think a hug. Obviously,
has
that's
to,
like
like,
a hug
clean off-
again.
She has to clean his wound. Maybe some like light caresses on his back while she's like cleaning him. I don't know.
She can kiss his back, maybe. You know, like a mommy, like you saw
One kiss for each of us readers.
Wow, she'll be kissing it for a long time.
She's gonna run out of real estate on that back.
Well, there's a big body over there. Lots of places.
No, I think we're gonna get Nurse Lauren like doing something on his back, and it's like Kieran obviously doesn't, with his body language, he doesn't like to turn to her and look her in the eye when he shares all this information. So I have a feeling it'll be like him basically put in a good position where he can share more information on his backstory. I think we're gonna get more backstory.
Backstory.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like backstory. Literally. And so I'm hoping that, you know, we get some. I hope we get a big reveal. Like, I hope we get like a nugget of just something like really juicy, just like a sucker punch in the face. Just like we were like, oh my God, we're all going to be screaming. Maybe we'll like, if we could just find out who the damn protectee is already. I don't know.
You don't want to be strung along for another 200 episodes? Are you saying that?
I just don't know how much more patience I have. And like,
no, I agree though. Like Nurse Lauren, and I think that'll put Kieran, in a position where he doesn't have to face her and he can open again, just like
But I could see something happening where they're chatting and she says something like really lovely and supportive, and he turns around and like maybe like you know, like puts a hand on her face, and you know they have a moment. I don't think there's gonna be a kiss, but you know they could have that moment where like it could, like if they leaned in they could, but it's not gonna go that way.
Agreed. And then I think maybe there'll be like a light joke or like light banter or something. But I don't think, I would love it.
Lauren, we're in the cave and nobody's around. We have more than 5 minutes.
And when he said 5 minutes, that was not a lie.
Well, we know that the man can do stuff in 5 minutes. I think my jaw actually dropped to the ground.
What episode was that again? I want to go back and read it.
Oh, Double Date 125. Obviously, I have that memorized.
That's hilarious. It's like, I don't remember the episodes, but that one you do.
Because I am shocked that that's even in PH. I remember reading it and just being like, is this really happening right now? They're actually.
You can do a lot in 5 minutes.
And he's not wrong. Not wrong.
Let's go stare at this panel.
Let's just.
The panel is beautiful.
So which is your favorite panel of this episode?
So many good ones. Oh wait, should like for the emotional vulnerability, I like the last one and then this one.
Yeah, that's my favorite panel.
But if we're going for just being a hoe right now, like the one near the beginning.
Is it the Stitch Pop?
Yeah, that might. Actually, I really like the one that she posted on her Instagram story as a teaser.
Right.
Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Like, it's just the way that it's framed. Like, you can see his face and like, it's just all of it. Like, I really like that one. So probably that one. And I like Lauren's like little concerned face in the background.
Yeah, I definitely also love the eyes up here detective, because that's just like classic.
Oh, it's so cute. It's so classic Kieran. Yeah, there's just so many good ones. But yeah, I don't know why. I just really like that one. What about you, Mickey?
Definitely the one with the eyes, the one that you held up before.
Oh yeah,
that's my favorite too.
It's just so, I love the emotional content. It's gorgeous, the lighting, the white, the shock, the like, does someone really understand me, appreciate me look? It's like
like the whole episode in the cave is just so beautiful. Like the lighting is great. It's like dark and moody with some light here and there. Like,
but it's also warm. There's like a lot of orange tones.
It's very like warm and cozy, where I think the cave previously has not always been warm and cozy.
No, we know the cave has not always been warm.
Exactly. So this episode, like their reflections are in the pool of water at the beginning. it's just like feels, like they're in their own little world where even though they're still talking about serious things, this is a place where now Kieran can, open up and be vulnerable. And his vulnerability was accepted by Lauren.
Sorry. So beautiful.
I know. I'm just hoping we get a lot more vulnerability the next episode, because we've seen Lauren be pretty, vulnerable lately with Kieran, and I just want him to open up.
Oh, amen. Amen.
My dog agreed about the vulnerability.
He did. Good doggy.
He liked the episode too.
I mean, who didn't? I guess people who don't like Lockie didn't like this episode. So
yeah, no.
Like, yeah.
I'm glad that the most intense Lockie shippers are in on this
I know, present. Here and present.
Present and accounted for.
Present and accounted for. And guess what, guys? We'll be here next week.
I know, to see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, I can't wait. I think I'm just gonna explode. I think I'm actually gonna explode.
Yep. Yeah. Same.
Well, I'm also really excited as well. Well, I guess we'll see each other next week then.
Yes. See you
we'll
guys.
Probably send each other more thirsty pictures.
Oh yeah. Far too often. There's some debaucherous older ladies over here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go browse the Discord for the right screenshots.
Oh, okay, the screenshot.
I might if there's no fast pass screenshot, I might ask y'all for one.
Let me know. I have a lot of the screenshots, so just let me know.
Okay, yeah, the fast screenshot would be awesome. Thumbnail.
I'll send it.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
You're welcome. So nice chatting with you, ladies.
All right. Yeah.
It was wonderful. You guys have a good night. Can't wait till next week.
Yep.
It's so soon. It's just a few days.
Basically.
Bye.
Thank you to my current patrons: Susie, Lady Libras, Lily, Jenny, Molly, Veronica, Emily, Joe, Rochelle, Saucy Tuggles, and Rose, Alexa, Misty, Joanne, Emilda, Esther, I'm Watching You People, Emily, Jean, Jen, Erin, Kay, Lily Beckett, Christine, Sadie, Kelly, Teresa, Mrs. Castaldo. Your support is truly appreciated.